Summertime is the perfect time to start using your Crock-Pot. The best part about a slow cooker is that you don't need to turn on your oven or your stove and heat up your whole house. It keeps your kitchen cool. It does the work without the sweat. Also, slow cooker meals are perfect for summer schedules. You can throw it in the morning, and then when you're busy doing all these fun summer activities like going to the pool, going to games, no need to throw a meal together last minute because you already prepped it beforehand. They're fuss-free meals, but the problem is most of the time, Crock-Pot dinners are usually all about the meat. So today I want to show you 3 vegan varieties that will help you stay nice and healthy this summer. They're plant-based, they're easy, they're delicious, and they're dump and go. Let's get to them. For this first recipe, all I did was take my go-to dump and go vegan Tuscan Orzo casserole, and I changed it so that we can throw it in the crock pot. Here's how I did it. We'll start with adding all of the ingredients to our crock pot. It's that simple. Everything except for the spinach and lemon juice. So let's start with our pasta. This is just one 16-ounce box of Orzo pasta. Next will be our sun-dried tomatoes, and I'm just gonna pull these right out. Okay, and then I chopped my sun-dried tomatoes just because they were in chunks, bigger chunks. Next we'll add in just a 2.25-ounce can of olives. A mini can of olives. Next, I chopped up a red onion, and we'll add that in there too. And we'll crumble in an entire block of tofu. You can choose just to use half of it if you don't really love all the tofu. You can also choose to do half of a red onion instead of the whole red onion. But I'm gonna do the whole block, so I did a whole red onion, the whole block of tofu. I'm making a bunch of food for my family, so I need to go a little farther. We'll just crumble it in, and I love that it just kind of looks like crumbled cheese. I've honestly given this exact meal to a woman in my church who just had a baby, and she was like, "This is so good, what's the recipe?" And she had no idea that there was tofu in it. Those are the type of higher protein plant-based recipes that I love, that non-plant-based eaters love too, and aren't grossed out by the tofu. Then we add 4 cloves garlic, the already minced garlic. Now let's add the spices. So it's 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning, and then 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, and then 1 to 2 teaspoons of salt. So this is up to you, however much salt you prefer. Start with 1, and then you can always add the second one later. In the dump and go casserole version, I add like a Parmesan cheese on top. I'm not going to do that in this one, so I'm adding a little bit more salt in place of that so that you get the flavor from the salt and not the homemade Parmesan cheese. Okay, then we need 2.5 cups of veggie broth. Now I'm just adding water. And today, I'm excited. I'm gonna try out the Thrive version of, it's a vegan chicken broth. So I'm really excited to try this. And this is just similar to the veggie bouillon paste. It's 1 teaspoon for every cup of water. Okay, now all we do is mix everything together. This looks awesome. It smells so good too. Now we'll cover it and we'll cook it on low for about 90 minutes to 2.5 hours. So we're gonna check on it after 90 minutes. All right, it is done. I checked on it after just about 1 hour and 20 minutes. Perfect.
I want to taste it.
You wanna taste it? All right, now we just add in some spinach. And then you can add a little bit of just a squeeze of the juice of a lemon. It's just half of a lemon. Now we're done, we're ready to eat it. Have you ever had guests in town, but you don't want to wake up early to make breakfast for them? Well, that's what this recipe is all about. It is a savory vegan breakfast dump and go crock pot recipe where you throw it in the night before, and in the morning, you can all have vegan breakfast burritos. Or just eat the potatoes and tofu as is. They are delicious and so easy to throw together. And honestly, we just have breakfast for dinner half the time. Okay, I'm gonna start with just this old bag of frozen peppers and onions. It's so bad that they're like frozen together, but perfect opportunity to use those up. Then this is 3 yellow potatoes that I've chopped up. They're just like the regular yellow potatoes in my awesome chopper. Okay, we'll put those in there. And then I'm gonna take a package of tofu. If you hate tofu, you are welcome to leave this step out if you're not a tofu lover. But it will add more protein, and we're gonna make it taste kind of like eggs would taste in breakfast burritos. So it's nice to add that in. Open that up, drain out the liquid. And then I'm gonna crumble this up as we bring it in. So we'll crumble it up really quick as I put it in the crock pot. Next, we'll add 1 can of black beans. drained and rinsed. Okay, now I wanna really flavor that tofu, so we'll add in the flavors next. We'll start with 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. I'm actually gonna finish this off. And then about 3/4 of a teaspoon of turmeric. Not too much, but just enough to make everything a little yellowy. And then we'll do a 1 teaspoon garlic powder and a 1 teaspoon onion powder. The combo for success, onion powder and garlic powder. It's actually a triple combination because it's onion powder, garlic powder, and salt. I'm gonna use seasoned salt just because I have a ton of this and I'm trying to get rid of it. We're gonna do a teaspoon of salt. We'll mix all of that together the best we can. That flavor in there. Now, I'm actually gonna use this for dinner tonight. So I'm gonna cook this on high for about 3 to 4 hours. If you're making it for breakfast the next day, you can definitely cook it on low for 6 to 8 hours. I will be adding salsa and corn as soon as it's done. But so it's not everything. I'm gonna add corn and salsa after the potatoes are cooked through. 4 hours. Okay, it has been almost 4 hours. Whew. Here's what it looks like. Looks so yummy. I'm gonna mix in all those peppers. Okay, next I'm gonna add about a cup of corn, and this will cool it down a little bit too. Anywhere between a half a cup to a cup. We like corn, so good amount. And lastly, we'll add about a cup of salsa. So you can eat this in tortillas, or honestly, you can just have it on its own, and it's still so good. Did you like it? Did you taste it good?
1, 2, 2.
And lastly, today we are making delicious Cajun white beans. These are so good. The flavor is unique, and I love to also make cornbread muffins with this recipe. It is so good, super easy to throw together. Trust me, you wanna try this one. Okay, we're gonna add 2 cups of white beans to our Instant Pot, or 1 pound. So if you're buying just the package, it's usually 1 package, or 2 cups if you're like me and store them this way. And this will make about 6 cups of cooked beans. So it really does multiply really fast. Next, I'll chop 1 red onion. You can also do a yellow onion. I'm gonna make mine a little bit more colorful. Hey, real quick, are you always looking for new ideas on how you can add more plants and more nutrition to your diet? Well, I have a guide just for you. Go ahead and click on the link below and I will give you 18 easy ways to add more plants to your diet. You won't even notice, but your waistline will. Then you'll add a bell pepper, and you can choose any color. I'm gonna do my red and yellow. I just have half of each one. Chop it nice and small on my chopper. Don't forget to take off the sticker. Add that in. Then we'll add a rib of celery. The celery's almost going bad, just on the way out. And changed my mind. We're doing 2 ribs of celery, 2 ribs. Again, with this chopper, I'm chopping a lot smaller than I would have been able to with my knife. Now, as far as seasonings go, the star of the show is Cajun seasoning. So you need to actually buy this seasoning, and we'll add 2 tablespoons. So it's a good amount. So 1 and 2. I'm almost done with this. It's like I only use this seasoning every once in a while, but it makes a big difference. And then we'll add 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika. A half a teaspoon of thyme is next. And then a half a teaspoon of oregano. I'm just eyeballing it today. You'll add 1 bay leaf. This will help to soften the beans. Oops. Now the bay leaf will help to reduce gas and bloating. It's like one of the benefits of it, but I'm also gonna add a little bit of kombu to help as well. And I'm gonna keep it in there, so I'm just cutting it nice and small. Okay, for this next part, it's completely optional. For every 2 cups of dried beans, you'll need 6 cups of liquid. I prefer to use like a bouillon or a veggie broth for the liquid, just so it absorbs more flavor. Now, I want to make this particular recipe a little bit more creamy and a little bit higher in protein. So instead of 6 cups of just veggie broth, I'm gonna add 4.5 cups of veggie broth and a half a block of tofu. Let me show you how and why I'm doing this. Now, I did not soak the beans beforehand, so this is unsoaked beans. I'm adding 4.5 cups of water to my blender, and then any type of veggie bouillon works. I'm gonna use this vegetarian chicken bouillon from Thrive. It's actually vegan. And we'll do 4.5 teaspoons. And I always kind of err on more than less. A little generous on my bouillon. 3, 4, and then a half. I like the chicken-based bouillons because they're yellow. And the veggie-based bouillons tend to be brown. And so I like that the look of the recipe is a little bit lighter. Next, we'll add our half of a block of tofu. I'm gonna actually take out the liquid real quick, and then we'll just add that in there, just like that. Let's blend it up. It doesn't take much. Now it's just more of a creamy base. Okay, now we're gonna pour in that liquid. Beautiful. Now this is also optional, but I wanna add a little bit more smoky flavor than just the smoked paprika. So just a couple of drops of liquid smoke. Makes it taste and smell really good when you're cooking it. All right, and then we will start cooking it. Add that lid. So you'll cook this on low for 7 to 8 hours. So it's a great option if you're gonna go to work and then wanna come home from work and have beans ready to go. Or like me, I'm making this in the early afternoon, and so I want it for dinner. So I'm gonna do it on high, and then we want it to be for about 4 to 5 hours. We'll do 5 just in case. And there we go. Now I wanna make vegan cornbread with the beans, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that together now. You'll grab a small bowl and you'll mix a cup of soy milk or any plant milk, and it can even be sweetened since I want my cornbread to be sweet anyway. So this is a cup of sweetened soy milk with about 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. I'm just finishing mine off. We'll mix this around and we'll let it sit to kind of curdle. This will be kind of our vegan buttermilk. Now we'll mix in 1 cup of either like whole wheat pastry flour or just whole wheat or white wheat flour. This is the flour that I like to use. I get it from Costco. It's what I use for everything. And then 1 cup of cornmeal. Next we'll add 1 tablespoon of baking powder. We'll mix all of this together. I forgot to add in the half a teaspoon of salt. So it's about half a teaspoon. Mix that in too. Okay, to the liquid portion, we're gonna add 1/3 of a cup of maple syrup. And then instead of butter, we use applesauce in this recipe. I'm just gonna take my applesauce, and it's 1/4 of a cup. Okay, we'll whisk that together so all the liquids are mixed together, and then we'll mix it into the rest. Now I like real corn in my cornbread, so to finish this off, we're gonna add a cup of frozen corn. My kids may not like this, but I think it makes it good. And if you're like me and you're like, I just have this tiny little bit of applesauce, you're welcome to just scoop it up and eat it. And honestly, if you wanna add it in, it's not a big deal to add in just a little bit more applesauce if you don't wanna waste that little package, if that's the kind you have. All right, let's mix that in there, and then we'll put it in I like to use muffin tins. And then I do spray in the pans just a little bit. And I like to use this big ice cream scooper whenever I do muffins. These pans and this scooper is linked below, just from Amazon. The muffin tins make a huge difference. And previously I did preheat my oven to 375 too. I'm probably gonna make a second batch just because I know my kids will want more than this, but I'll go ahead and put this one in the oven.
Yes, 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 I want more. I really want more.
I just whipped together my second batch. Goes together so fast, it's really easy. Okay, it only took about 18 minutes and they're done. They need to sit, they need to sit and cool off for a little bit, but these look amazing. They're all waiting. We need to take the picture. Okay, it has been 5 hours. I added some green onions to the top, and the only downside about using tofu is you can see it kind of curdles. So while it adds that extra protein, it does create a little bit of curdles, and if you don't love the look of that, then just stick with 6 cups of veggie broth instead of doing the 4.5 cups and the tofu. But this tastes amazing. The taste of these beans is so good. Like this Cajun flavor is so yummy. You definitely have to try this recipe. It's definitely one of the better crock-pot bean recipes just because it has a different flavor profile. And then we are gonna eat this with rice and the cornbread muffins.
I'm gonna eat this. Nom nom.
Okay, you have to have the beans too, not just the cornbread. As always, the recipes for today's videos are linked below, along with more information about our membership if you need more help and support. And if you loved today's video, I know you'll absolutely love my other dump and go crock pot vegan meals, so check those out as well.